locked me up, witch. Get off me, you psycho. And yeah, I did it, but you can't prove it. What is your problem? You and Danny. Why? You don't even like him. Yeah, but I don't want you to have him. You're such a brat. Get over it, or don't. I won't stop seeing Danny. Ugh, she was crazy. And I really didn't want to stop seeing Danny. In fact, I didn't want to fake it anymore. After the weekend, I decided to tell him how I felt. But when I went to class, I was shocked to see Sandra sitting on Danny's lap. What's going on here? Oh, Danny and I met yesterday at a party, and we just kinda reconnected. Basically, he came to his senses and realized I'm so much better for him than you are. Danny, is this some prank? You hate Sandra. You told me... Well, I was wrong, okay? And why do you care anyway? What we had was all fake. And I wasn't really gonna date the janitor's daughter. I stared at him in shock. And just then the teacher walked in and I went to my seat. Even though Danny teased me, I didn't think he was a jerk. But things got worse when I was called into the principal's office that afternoon. I found Mom there crying and a pile of phones, watches, and cash on Aunt's desk. Aunt told me it was all the teacher's stuff stolen from their lockers and found it in Mom's. So disgraceful. This is such poor repayment for everything I've done for you. But I didn't steal any of this. How were these things in your locker then? I have no choice but to fire you. This is so unfair, Aunt. Surely you can't believe this about my mom? Can't I? Your father turned out to be a thief too. Maybe his ways rubbed off on your mother. I couldn't hear another word. I took Mom's hand and we left. We packed all our things and we were out of the house before Aunt and Sandra returned. We lived in a shelter till Mom found a job as a maid at a mansion. The owners were even kind enough to send me to school. And I was determined to work hard. I was going to get a scholarship to a good university and take care of us. I got into a great law program, and after working part-time jobs and studying my butt off, I graduated with honors. Soon, I was hired into a top law firm, and 5 years later, I became one of their youngest partners. One day, we had a meeting with a big firm, and when the owner turned up, I nearly fell off my seat. It was freaking Danny. He looked shocked to see me too, and then grinned. Oh God, I wanted to break his face even years later. When the meeting was over, Danny asked to speak to me alone. Once the others left, he said, Ariana, can I be sure that you won't let our past affect how you handle this case? Mr. Daniel, this is not high school. You can be sure that I'll be professional. That's good to know. I never thought I'd meet you again, or that you'd be working for me. I work for this company, not you. And as far as the case goes, I am the boss here. I make all the decisions. Yes, ma'am. I always knew you were going to be successful one day. I thought the same about you, but only because I knew you were going to inherit this company. And I walked off. It felt so good putting him in his place. I had to see him a lot for the next month as we prepared for this case. I still hated him, but I couldn't help admitting that he was smart and seemed to know his work really well. One night, it was late when we got done, and he suggested we get dinner. As we were walking to the cafe, he asked, So, how's your mom? And suddenly, I felt furious. She's not a janitor now, but I'll always be a janitor's daughter, and really proud to be. Listen, we can't be friends. I just can't forgive you for what you said, even now. And before he could reply, I turned around and left. After weeks in court, we finally got a decision, and we won the case. I was so happy, I almost hugged Danny, but I just shook hands with him and left. As I was hurrying away, he caught up with me outside. Ariana, please stop. Just give me one chance to say something. Reluctantly, I nodded. Sandra told me to break up with you, and she said if I didn't, she'd have your mom lose her job and kick you guys out of her house. I hated saying those things to you so much. And then she had your mom kicked out anyway. When I found out, I was beyond furious. I told your aunt everything, and somehow she believed me. She sent Sandra to some strict boarding school. We tried looking for you two, but we had no luck. I could hardly believe my ears. I am so sorry, but I only thought I was doing what was better for you. And I loved you, so it wasn't easy for me. In fact, I'm still in love with you, Ariana. Do you think you can forgive me and we can start over? I smiled at him and took his hand. Fine, stop crying like a bimbo. We can start over. With you buying me lunch.